He is busted again. A serial shoplifter is caught for the 129th time, less than a month after being released from jail, thanks to New York City's latest bail reform. Our next guest says this is proof there are no more consequences. Here to react is New York City Councilman Joe Borelli. Welcome, Joe.
Good morning.
This is an amazing story. This individual, Mick Lucas is his name, Lorenzo Mick Lucas. He has 129 times engaged in shoplifting, released after his 122nd arrest. He had 2 felonies. He had multiple misdemeanors, 29 to be exact, and 20 missed court appearances. But he's out on the street, Mr. Mick Lucas.
I don't know if he's up for an award, but he should probably be in contention for some type of criminal Emmy award or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's any other case that really highlights this fact that we no longer have consequences for people who do bad things. There are no consequences for people who repeatedly commit the same crime, repeatedly escalate their crimes. We had one example in my neighborhood where someone was arrested for stealing from Macy's. They got caught. They went to the police precinct. They got out. They walked right across the street and stole from a ShopRite. This is the end of the cause and effect relationship that crime and punishment used to have in New York City. Now we just have the crime part.
It is incredible. And you have this radical leftist DA, Alvin Bragg, who says that he had to release this guy on a technicality. Okay, fine, we'll give you this for a moment. But this bodega worker that he's charging, even though he engaged in lawful self-defense, there is a remedy here to stop all of the madness going on around us in New York City. And that's Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, firing Alvin Bragg. But she won't do it, will she?
It's amazing. When someone starts on day one, it's literally called his day one memo, and declares that we're not going to do the job that the people elected me to do, that is grounds for someone like Kathy Hochul to remove him from duty. Make no mistake, Kaylee, we've always had progressive district attorneys in New York that wanted to lighten the sentence on people and wanted to give people second chances. That's not new. We've never had, and this is the unprecedented part, someone who just declared day one, I'm not going to charge people. The criminals know there's no consequences. The bodega workers, like Jose Alba, knew there was no consequences, and that's why he felt threatened enough to carry a knife, essentially, in his store.
It's amazing. It really is. And then you have this gem of a liberal mayor. His name is Eric Adams. He has a brilliant idea for NYPD officers. Let's take a listen.
Why are we using our tax dollars to pay for an officer to be here for 8 hours, and then 16 hours he's going to one of our 5 neighboring counties and protecting them? That makes no sense. No, I want you here in the city. I want you to go to the cleaners. I want you to go to the churches, the supermarket, your children to be in our schools.
So there's a law, it's been on the book for 50 years, where if you're an NYPD officer, you can go live in Westchester or Nassau or a neighboring county, suburb county, but you could still be an NYPD officer. He wants them to live in Manhattan, where the average rent is $5,000, and the starting salary of an officer, I looked this up last night, get this, $42,500. So after taxes, that's about $28,000, meaning an officer could afford an average apartment for about 5 months.
Sure, and more to the point, I mean, this is the lowest starting salary of any police department in the metropolitan area.
Wow.
So we've always had this problem where officers came and did a job for a couple of years, got some tremendous training, got great experience in the best police department in the country, and then shifted out to some of the other departments around the country. That's not necessarily new. The new part is that we're just seeing so many people doing it essentially more because of the way New York City treats police officers, the way the defund the police movement does, the way New York progressives treat police officers. We have more police officers retiring today than we can refill the ranks. We're down 2,000 detectives in New York City. That's 2,000 less pairs of eyes to review tapes, to interview witnesses, to canvass the area, to solve some of these crimes that we're seeing spike. This is the result of woke policies where you're putting the burden on police officers to do more work under more scrutiny with more personal liability, and you're not paying them as much. So I agree. Police should live in the community they serve. That's a good thing. That's a valuable thing. But at least pay them the money to be able to live comfortably as a middle-class citizen.
So after taxes, you get $28,000 for putting your life on the line each and every day, because that is what we are asking of NYPD officers. It's reprehensible and now a requirement that they live here in New York. Thank you so much, Councilman Joe Borelli. I've known you for a long time.
It's been a while.
You're deeply about New York, and you're very smart, very wise.